Okay, so in this episode we are working on the engine bay. We finish off trying to disassemble parts of the suspension, and I've got a few questions or for ideas on how to get some bits out, please, because I just can't get them to budge. I think heat might be the only way, but I'm not sure. So anyone can help me on that as approaches, that'd be great. I then go into the engine bay and we start welding there. Most of the work is done right here on the fitch, and but we start by taking a look at everything on this side and what needs doing. So we've got an idea of what needs doing. We've done some of the work, and we know what we'll be moving on to next. In terms of how we're progressing, so I did some time lapse in this video as well. If you like the time lapse, let me know and I'll keep doing it. If you prefer me just showing progress, we can do that. What was I going to say? Right, so after 7 weeks, so this is the 7th week of 2022, I've done about 6 weeks of my plan. So we've caught up a little bit, which is nice, and we're progressing. It's good. Feels like it's coming along. Until next week, unless I do something in between, hope you have a great week. Right, I've spent about 2 hours now, probably more actually, trying to get the rest of this suspension apart. I've virtually got it there. I've got a couple of problems, so we can see that we've got the bump stop off, we've got the rack and the steering rack stuff off. We even tried cleaning a little bit up. You can see that's the cleaned up version against the not cleaned up, so that's okay. We've got the springs all apart and off and things like that. But I can't work out how to get the dampers out without the special tools. So if anyone can advise me the best way to remove those dampers, that would be great. I can't budge, and you can see here I'm beginning to. I've stopped because I'm beginning to round off the edge there, but I simply cannot budge that. Nut. Sorry, a reason I went quiet there is I suddenly thought maybe it has turned a bit. Oh yeah, no. So you can see. Can I get it in for you? You can see the hole is still exactly lined up. So I haven't been able to budge that at all, and I'm thinking heat is probably the best way now. I don't like using heat. I don't trust myself with it. I assume I'm going to burn myself. But there's that one, and then the other one is this one here. And I mean, this end comes off. I can get this to turn 360 several times, but I have to use a breaker bar for it. But that implies to me that it's free from I guess that's lower wishbone. So it's free from that because it will turn. Alright. I then tried, I lifted it all up and I stuck it in here with a large bolt, a large socket over the head, like this. Okay, to try to push it through. I didn't have the nut on. Alright, so I had this over like that, and then I squeezed it. Okay, and it didn't appear. And I went pretty tight. And again, I used a what did I put it away. I used effectively a breaker bar over the handle on that in order to turn it. So a lot of force, and it wouldn't move. It just stayed there. I've tried with a hammer and a center punch, you know, to push it through or dislodge it, but you know, the fact that it turns with a breaker bar implies to me that it's free on the inside. I just can't understand why I can't get it through. So I'm going to put this all to the side now. I'm going to work on my compressor and see if I can get that sorted. I don't know if I'll film that or not. But if anyone's got any advice or thoughts about how to get these remaining bits apart, I would very much appreciate it. Right? Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to the engine bay now. So this is the bit I did on the fitch before and I could never get underneath to weld, so I've come in and I've done that, and now I'll trim off this bit which I don't need. Oh, I just noticed I haven't done right along the top there, which might need doing. I'll have a closer look at that. It's a pain in the arse trying to weld under here, but we're going to cut this bit out and weld and grind it down a bit just to flatten it out a bit. So we'll do that next, and then we're going to move on to doing this side of the engine bay. So I stopped last time because of this bit here, and I couldn't get at it, and I guess what I'm trying to think about is I could just oh, come on. Right, so I could weld it all from the back and not worry about welding from this side. I think that was what I was originally thinking of doing, and that would probably be okay, to be honest. So I'd have to do a bit here and then this panel here, and this has to curve around, as you can see, hopefully. So it'd have to curve. I'd have to do a piece that curves around in some way. In fact, on the other one it doesn't curve at all. On the other side, this comes up, this curves up here, but this comes along straight. So we'd put a straight piece in here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We're going to do a straight piece in here, weld it all from the other side, and then have a look. We do have a little hole further down, just there. There's my finger in view. No, well, we've got a hole on this seam here, further down, and so we need to pick that up as well. And then turning you around, hopefully I can see. Then we've got this big gap between the wheel arch and the firewall, which I've got on the other side as well, and I'm sure that's not part of the TR7 design. You can see it over there, but I seem to have it on both of these, on this car on both sides, so we'll have to fit the piece in there. So that's what we're going to do, but we'll start, and then this is all quite rusty as well, and so the base of the battery tray down here, where's my hand gone there, so this base battery tray down here needs fixing as well, and you can see lots of rust in some of these bits. So we're going to start with a wire wheel, clean it up a bit, and then see what it looks like in there, and then we'll come back up to that. So yeah, we'll clean off first. Okay, I've cleaned it up a bit. We're going to do this slightly more logically from inside the car. So we need some fix across the top here, so we'll have to cut out a patch like this to weld in there. It's going to be, I'm nervous about this because this is going to be spot welded, and I don't really want to impact that. So what I might do cut out a piece and do a lap weld underneath for that, and we'll get that all the way to the end. We need to do a flat piece along here, which is what I did on this side. So we'll do a nice flat piece and get that all fixed off, and then we're going to have to do a piece, and I clearly can't get all the way down to here to do it, so we'll do a piece to cover this area, much like we did this one. Okay, and then we'll go from underneath, we'll go and just clean this up and fill it somehow. We've got to clean up this bit and fill that as well. And then we come to this, which looks dreadful, but as I've cleaned it, it doesn't look quite as bad. Or it's got bits in different areas. So we can see so this appears to be several panels. Okay, so you can see here we've got 2 panels. All right, we've got the wheel arch underneath there, and then this appears to be a panel that comes just to here and up, but is actually to take this structure. Okay, and then this structure consists of the battery tray there and the wiper motor. Okay, and I mean, this needs more cleaning, and actually the more I do it the worse it looks, but you know, most of this I didn't think looked as bad as I was expecting. So you can see that I've cleaned it off quite well along here. I didn't get into this because this is still in my way. So most of this I think will clean off reasonably well. I guess the problem is where the 2 come together and rust has got in between. I've got to decide if I want to do anything about that here and here really, and in here. Alright, but I think we'll clean it out and then we'll get seam sealer in or something, is what we'll try to do. So here though, so we've got this outer panel for the tray needs a fix, and then inside we've got the actual wheel arch, which I'm managing to break away, which needs a fix, that effectively runs all the way from here up and along, and it might need to come all the way down here. Yeah, it looks like that needs doing as well. So we're going to have to do some sort of fix that goes all the way along and up there. Okay, this is not great but not bad. And I got 3 holes along this on his panel, which I'll get out from the passenger compartment, and they're just 3 tiny holes, so we'll put a strip in there. So we're going to start with, you know what, let's start with something really small. We're going to start with this little bit here, fix that out the way, and then we're going to move around. So we're going to move from here, then to the back, and around, I think. Oh, and we're going to have to fix this as well down here at some point. Okay, so we have put in this little piece here, ground it down. We've cut the inside of this arch on the one that I had done before. I've made this piece, which I'm going to clean off, but this piece I decided, so this piece is going in here like that. I'm going to do a lap weld along this side and on both sides to get it good and strong. So simply because I really can't get in here very well, and so I figure the lap weld will give me extra strength for where I can't get a good weld. So I'll weld it along here. I'll weld it along here, but I'll do it on the inside as well, and I'll weld it underneath, and then come in and do this bit here. So that's what we're going to do next. Changing my plan here. So when I try to get this in nice and tight, to weld it in place, I get this big gap here on the top. I can get it close enough everywhere else, but it begins to pull apart here, and it's a big gap along here. And the reason for that isn't shape, it's because this piece of metal that's here comes up and across. In fact, it comes up and it becomes this. Okay, and then there's this top bit behind, which yeah, and then there's this bit which is underneath here and just has a lip underneath. So when I'm putting this in back here, I'm putting it not only behind where it should be, but behind a bit that's also meant to be part of it. So I'm going to trim this across the top here. I'm going to fit it so that it's tight along the bottom and along here, and so it comes out along here. And then I'm going to take this bit off, and I'm going to weld in a piece along here, and I'm going to fix this bit in here. Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Right, we're going to stop here for today. We've welded it in here and here and here. Inside we've also gone here. We haven't gone on the inside here yet, or on the inside here. We've not touched the top, because what we're going to do tomorrow, and I'm stopping so I can think about what I really want to do, but I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is cut out this bit and the underneath bit like that, fit in a bit for the underneath so that it matches up, and then fit a bit over it to weld to this, spot weld along the top, weld along there. I think that's what I'm going to do, but I haven't quite decided yet. Okay, so this is the little bit I just folded over. We need to do a couple of things here. It needs to be shortened a bit. We've got to get this, I haven't thought about this until now, but I've got this lip. Ouch! Fast. Okay, so I've got this, I've got to shorten this a little bit. So just here. To there. Okay. I'm also going to have to put in this bend somewhere around here. I'm not sure how I'll do that because of the way I've done this. I didn't think about it before. I'll put a cut in here so I can bend that over a bit. And I'm going to have to, but I'll do it afterwards. I'm going to have to shorten it along here as well, but we're going to start by taking this bit off, putting a cut. We're going to put a relief cut here so that I can just bend that over a bit. Right, so with that in place, we're going to, so it fits along here quite snug, and it's fitting at the back quite snug. When that bends down, it will probably come away a bit. So I need to trim it along here now. Which is just here where I cut into the flange, and just there. So we'll get a line in there and cut that out next. Okay, so this doesn't look too bad. Let's put it in from the bottom, it goes in easier. So I can, well, it could be 4. There we go. So that comes up, fits on there quite nicely. Need to raise this back corner a little bit. And I need to push it out here a little bit. So I need to raise this back corner a bit and push this bit out a little. But I'm going to do that afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bit off along here, come back and fit it again and weld it together so that I've got that right, and then we'll weld it in place. I had such a gap. You can see where my original mark was for the flange, and having cut this bit, I then went and decided I needed to rebend it to get it out. So I bent it again. I've now got a bit of a gap in there, but we'll fill that up with some weld, I think, is what we'll do. So I'm going to clean both these bits off. I'll weld up to here on the top, underneath I'll join it up, and we'll get this in now. Okay, I think that looks okay, so I'm going to go underneath now, and I won't bother to film that, but get it welded in place from underneath. Then we'll come up here and grind it and see how good it is. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. So we're going to do the outer bit now. Which shouldn't be too difficult. We'll need a couple of spot welds. I wonder if it's spot welded along the side as well, to be honest. So probably spot weld here, at the top and here, welded along here. Yeah, I can feel a couple of indents there, so that's how we'll do it. So we'll build this piece. Yeah, so I'm going to get some primer on this bit here because it's going to get hidden, but other than that, we're going to now make the outer bit. Right, so that's prepared, but you saw me cut myself because I was being totally stupid and then burning myself because I was continuing to be stupid. So I'm going to go in for a cup of coffee in an attempt to stop being stupid. Come back out rested. Okay, we're back. Hopefully I'll be a bit more sensible now. So how am I going to do this? I think we're going to start by welding these bits. We'll then take a bit of a hammer to get it flat. We'll weld that. And we'll then take a hammer from the inside to knock the other one out. We'll weld in there. In fact, no, we'll weld along there, then we'll take a hammer to the inside and do it like that, I think. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to do it. So let's go to time lapse and see. Okay, so I think that I forgot to grind this bit down, but I can do that. So I think the next bit is to work in here. Now this should, as it connects up here, should just connect up at the bottom here. So I'm probably going to have to bring it up a bit or something. I'm not quite sure how to do it actually, because it's going to be really tough getting into some of these bits. But we want a piece that comes up here and up here. So that's what we're going to work on. So I started with this bit here. It's actually coming out, I'm not sure how well this shows up. And I've now got to get this curve. No, I definitely can't see that. Right, let's move the camera. Okay, yeah. So I started with this bit, I just did a straight bit in here. I did weld it to this, even though I think what's actually meant to happen is there's a flange coming out, looking at it now. Anyway, so we've done it like that. I'm now looking at this bit here. And so I think I'm just trying to get a bit of a curve in here. But I think what we're going to have to do is probably line up about there. Well, we're going to have to take off a bit along here and get more of a curve in there. So I think we'll start maybe with, if I wanted to take out this bit, I think what we'll do is we'll cut down here first and see if we can then get something to more or less touch here and along there. Okay, trying to make this piece is proving to be extraordinarily difficult. So I've got quite a gap along here at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld along that bottom seam, and then I'm going to try to bang it into place a bit more elsewhere. So we're going to have a go at doing that. Okay, so we're stopping there for this episode. I thought I was filming this on time lapse, but I'm not sure if I did in the end, so if I didn't, I apologise. But basically I welded in along here, I then banged it down and welded along here, banged it down, welded along here, used a bit of brass to weld the gap that I had there. I've ground it down as well as I can, but my grinder I can't really get in here, and the only way to get in and do this all and along here and all of this would be to take all of this gubbins out, and I don't fancy taking all of this gubbins out, so so we're going to stop the episode. You'll see that my compressor is working again. I just did a service on it. I had a bucket full of water in there, which isn't great, but that's now cleared. I changed the oil, I changed the filters, it seems okay. So after 7 weeks, I think I've completed about 6 weeks of my forecast. So we're a little bit behind, but we're catching up a bit, which is good. Although next week I think I'm probably not going to be able to do any of this for 4 days at least during the week, so might fall a bit behind again. We'll see. Yeah, but we've got progress. So next episode we're going to continue on the engine bay. We'll continue on this side and then we'll work around.